All right, we are ready to rock and roll. That's all done. We are out here doing what we do, working our hardest, working our best, giving our best effort to help folks play better on 2K23, whether that's aligning them with other gamers at their skill level so they have an overall better experience on 2K23, or that's just offering pointers and tips from not only myself, but from a ton of great players that I'm able to run with and gain knowledge from. Uh, Not everything that I give you guys is because of how I execute on the court, but just from me being in the fortunate position to run with great players who are willing and able to share their knowledge too. So a beautiful thing, man. Trill, what up, man? Lil Tantrum, what it is? Jay Nuisance out there, Nookies out there. Jim Kelly said he has the best jumper. Share it with the live stream. Share it with the folks that are watching. You could probably not only help me, you could probably help a ton of other people watching this video. It's just super dope that we have a community that has this toxic label on it. But here at All City Live TV and within the All City Discord, we've been able to create a gaming environment that's non-toxic, and I'm super proud of that. I'm super proud of y'all for everything you do to contribute. Is really an amazing thing. I'm hoping we can get more like-minded players out there to share the information, the valuable information that could help other players just play way better. Super dope, man. Super dope. Let's keep this thing going. Vaping Panda, what it is. Craig Clark out there. Javon, what's goody? I want to try out today. Yeah, we'll more than likely host tryouts today. I'll probably get on. We have hold on, I got to tell you guys about the 3v3 tournament that we're hosting. So let me get up an image here because you guys need to know this. I know a lot of players were curious because we've been hosting a lot of tournaments for PlayStation. So I know a lot of players were curious about Xbox, and we need to show Xbox more love. Let me just leave that image too, okay? And let me browse this. Give me 1 second while I pull up this 3v3 flyer here, and it's probably over my face. Yeah, okay. Pause. So yeah, we're hosting this tournament here. This tournament is being hosted tonight by All City Slim. If you're on Xbox and you want to try out for the Lunatics, you will meet up with All City Slim when he hosts tryouts as well. But yeah, $150 giveaway to the winner. 3v3 tournament. Register today by joining our Discord. You just type !Discord in the chat, and you guys will be able to register ASAP and get on that lineup to win $150 tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern if you haven't done so already. I appreciate you, No Cap. What up, man? Midwest Maestro, play defense and hit the open man. It's really that simple. And you know, we can't simplify the gaming Midwest Maestro. Different defenses that you come across may complicate that, but yeah, to help narrow and simplify things, yeah, play good defense and help and make sure you hit the open man. And if you're open, make sure you take the shot. So it's nothing worse than the only thing worse than missing the shot. And we don't put a lot of weight on missing the shot because good shot selection is key out there. So we don't put a lot of stress on missing your shots. You can't miss consistently throughout the game. That it costs us the game, especially if the defensive weak link is your man and you're missing all the shots. But good shot selection is key. And you want to make sure you take that shot when you're open. We can't simplify the whole process for sure. But when you run against different defense, you're going to experience different things. So, yeah, I'm definitely getting Hogwarts Legacy. What's good? I just bought my PS5 and 2K. I'm back to grinding accounts for people. All right. Good luck with that, man. Did 2K made the game pace or game speed slow down? 2K23 is definitely slowed down. Hey, that's what's up, George Cummings. Appreciate the tryouts last night. I hope everyone who was in the tournament today has a blast. Big facts. We're going to be looking into the tournament players as well. So although we still will be hosting these tryouts, the tournaments usually bring out the best of the best. So we like to scout players and how they play in little more pressured environments. Is paint defense changed or something? Paint defense definitely changed. Everyone needs to take over to play defense. Make sure you're hitting the open man. What up, Charles Penley? What's good, man? Happy Saturday to all. Hate when guys are open and won't take the shot. It totally screws the offense. Yeah, let's talk about that for a second before we get into these shooting badges. I can't go into the full screen, man. Let's go into the full screen. Let's talk about that for a second, yeah? What the homie said. Why do your teammates get mad at you when you don't take the open shot? Let's talk about that. And there's a reasoning for this, yeah. Good point guards. We're talking about high IQ point guards that execute and conduct the offense. You got to understand that when the point guard, when you're open, ideally, this is how it's played out. Sometimes it's a lack of defensive awareness from your opponents, but ideally, your point guard is setting you up for an open shot. Ideally, that's the way the offense is conducted, through the point guard. Whether that's one direct pass or one pass to another. So your point guard identifies the weak links on defense, and they set up, and I'll give you a scenario on how they can set it up. They can set it up by like committing to a drive and forcing a double team, or calling a hash cut. So the corner is open and the defender who's guarding the corner collapses into the paint because some strange reason in the 2K community, a lot of players feel like a 2 is more important than a 3. At least that's what I see in regards to these the IQ of the defense that we see out there often. So if you don't take the shot, then that defender that's collapsing into the paint is going to collapse every single time. And that's a liability for your offensive set. The whole reason the point guard does that is so if he is a strategy, it's a chess match, y'all. So he dots you in the corner, you don't take the shot while your defender actually collapses into the paint. That was a bait by the point guard. You don't take it, the defender collapses again and again and again. He has no reason to guard you at the 3 because you're not taking these shots. Now, for instance, let's say you take the shot and you miss the shot. It's not the end of the world, yeah? That was the point guard's way of creating options for the next 5 plays. So if you miss your shot, don't think that it was just that play. That's part of the strategy. Hopefully you guys are hearing me when I'm saying this. Sound off in the chat if you're hearing me when I'm saying this. Because a lot of players come on 2K and they're only thinking of the play that's in front of them. And you may lose some battles referencing each individual play. You may lose a battle, but you're out there, especially from the point guard. You're there to win the war, and that's winning the game. Hopefully that makes sense to a lot of players out there. Yep, I was getting yelled at for not shooting and passing instead of as a center. I only shoot 40%, but I take late shot clock shots too. But I'm no meter now and getting better every day. That's what's up. Good to hear it, Charles Penley. As a center, it's annoying how guards sometimes put no defense on their build and get mad at the center for not being able to stop their man while also guarding the opposing center. And that's another thing that we could get into, y'all. People need to hear you. This is why I hate running PG this year. Facts, Jesus. Too many people are just looking at the play that's in front of them when the point guard is setting up strategic plays for maybe 5 to 10 plays ahead of the play that you're actually on. Hopefully that makes sense. But the homie that's another thing here, y'all. There's another, appreciate you, Jason Turner. There's another aspect, there's another layer to defense on the defensive end where a center gets consistently put into a double, like he has to double up. Well, Two people against one center is what I'm referencing. So the point guards that we see on 2K very often, right? This is the point guards that we see on 2K. They dead work their hardest to get past the defender in front of them. And I'm a center. When I run center, I constantly yell, "Stay out the paint!" Like God. When your teammates are in the paint, it limits your ability to get optimal animations. And what I mean by that is because your body is in the paint, me as a center, I can't get the most optimal animation to get a good jump. It's almost like 2K recognizes that your body is there. So if I get a bump on you, I'm either trying to maneuver around my own teammate or 2K won't let me jump in general. And the reason why I said there's another layer to this is because as the defense, you guys got to collapse, especially if the tendency of the team you're facing is primarily to drive into the paint, then you guys shrink your defense. You're not playing as aggressively for perimeter shooting if the team you're facing has already showed that their tendency, their priority is to drive into the paint. Shrink that defense and start pinching. I'm sure you guys all felt this from defense you've run again, especially running the PG position. You see defense shrink and you feel like you're getting double teamed every single time. That's because the defense is pinching. They've learned your tendency. They're pinching. You're not an aggressive shooter. They're pinching. Our defense needs to recognize tendencies. I think recognizing tendencies is a lost art because I see this too often. When I'm running the corner, I'm a defender running the corner. And whether I'm running the corner or I'm running the hash, hear me out here, y'all, because I know I'm dropping gems here. And I'm not saying that for like patting myself on the back. I'm saying this because of what I'm seeing out there from other players. We're too often running the only play that's in front of us as if we're not learning as each quarter passes. As each quarter passes, you should be recognizing the tendencies of the players on the court and not only your man who's consistently going into the corner. If your corner player has showed that his tendency is to consistently drive, then come up a little more from the corner and let him get that drive to the center. Come on. This way you can help. If you come up slightly from the corner, you hedge over toward the hash from the corner, now you could pinch that lights out shooter, the one who showed that he has a tendency to shoot lights out. You're not going to consistently guard the player from the corner that's not shooting. I'm not saying give up a three, y'all. I'm not telling y'all give up a three. What I'm saying is your positioning on the court is everything. Everything. We're one step over from the baseline, giving up the baseline, one step over toward the hash will allow you to play two offensive players. And you could also close the door into the paint. I'm seeing too many point guards be able to walk right into the paint because there's a defensive collapse at the perimeter. So that puts the center in an extremely bad position. I understand it happens. Don't get me wrong. I encourage, play in between. Facts. That's the reason why that's called sweet spots. And we got to cover sweet spots as well. But hey, I encourage players to work hard on the clock, not play. This is not advice. I'm saying while I'm out there as the center build, I got a small center build. I play passing lanes. And if we get some defensive contests in the paint, some good interior contests, that's just a benefit for us. If they score the 2 points, so be it. If your offense is executing properly, you're not worried about that 2 points. You either exchange 2 points until someone makes a mistake and then you throw up a three. But we don't stress the 2 points. This is why when a lot of big man centers saying, I'll dominate you. I'm like, yes, I encourage y'all. This is why you hear me promoting. Yes, I want all the smoke. Bring out your centers because we want to encourage your team. We want to encourage you to lead your team to a loss. So bring out those 7-3 centers and drop step me, please. I don't have an ego when I'm out there. I'm there for the team, yeah. And I would hope that more players see it that way. If you're there for the team, that 2 points that they take in the paint, wasting 20 seconds out of the 24-second clock, is a W for your team if your offense is executing properly on the other side of the court. I don't have no ego, so I don't mind going live and having my center look like he's getting dominated in the paint. I don't have no ego. I know we're going to pull off the W. So I might get a tweet here and there saying, oh, damn, I beat up your center. I'm like, okay. Did you win? Damn. What was the score? What was the end score? Oh, damn. It's all love, man, but we got to understand that there's strategy behind this, man. If we understand the strategy behind this, we could make some changes. All too often, I'm seeing a point guard drive, work his way, spend a good amount of the clock trying to drive into the paint just to hand it off to the center. One, it's a W for us because our primary goal is to waste a good majority of the clock trying to make sure we put up a 3 to get ahead in the score. Never ever make any bills that can't at least hit the open corner 3. Facts. It seemed like the my team jump shot is easier than park jump shots. I don't have much post control on my 6'11". That 3 goes hard when nobody thinks I can shoot with the rim protector. Facts, yeah, facts. Sean Bradley got dunked on many times. Tell him again. Yeah, we playing chess. What up, old man beginner? What's goody? Seen a lot of this last night during trials. Got to have good spacing on both offense and defense. Man, you ain't lying. I noticed a lot. We was watching the Xbox trials hosted by Slim, All City Slim last night. And yeah, I noticed a lot of that. Poor spacing, a lot of motion, limits what the point guard could see out there, limits the ability for the point guard to find weak links on the defense when there's too much motion. Because of the point guards, and I think I can't knock y'all because the point guards that we're seeing out there, and these are people, since me hosting trials for PlayStation, so All City Slim hosts them for Xbox, I host them for PlayStation. Since hosting those trials, I think we've added 2 point guards. But let me tell you guys how many people say, yo, I got it. I do this, B. Listen, man, I'm not a point guard. I'm not good at executing at the PG position. I'll have good moments, but I will never put my team, like I will never serve as the liability for my team to go out there and say, I got it. No, I try it and I try it consistently here and there. Some days it's an absolute nightmare. Some days I have a good day and everything is just clicking. But if you have those nightmarish days or it's like 50-50, then it's on me. If I really want to run point guard, I got to hit the lab and make sure all these things are tied in and the timing of each individual animation and all the different timings for your shot timing fluctuations. Because I can't execute, I say I can't run that position. I can't consistently be a liability to my team. So I step out of the role. Do yourself a favor and step into the role that you're most comfortable with. I know a lot of players want to be the conductor of the offense, but if you don't got it, you don't got it, homie. Hit the lab, watch a few videos, keep it locked here at All City Live TV because we're doing our best to help you guys be your best. But if you don't got it, don't. It confuses me that I'm able to quickly and readily identify that I don't got it, me personally, at the PG position. I know my limitations. I see them when I'm out there. A good lockdown will lock me up. I don't got a proper PG build, but, I could get busy here and there. But I'm running a 6'9" PG when I run point guard sometimes. And a good lockdown will lock me up. If you recognize yourself getting locked up by a good lockdown, then come on, hit the lab, get right. If you want to stay at that point guard position, otherwise play your role. Create a build that helps you play defense and you're able to execute offense, and let a good point guard with good IQ play that role. But don't practice at your teammates' expense. Do not go out there and practice at your teammates' expense. Don't get me wrong. I know there's a process to this thing. Some of the best point guards, can I throw this out? If I missed your comment, please drop it again if I missed it. But there's a process. I want to say that some of the best point guards that I've seen evolve have to go through like a real selling phase. Like they create a new build, they're trying to get with the meta, and they have to sell a lot in order for them to learn these different shot timings and shot selection opportunities. But you able to see that. And I mean, they sell to the point that you're like, oh my God, I can't run with this dude. It's tough. But I've been patient enough to watch these guys evolve. And because they took so much shot selling, they were able to evolve because that they were constantly in the mind state of, I am learning my position. This is the role I want to take on, and I'm going to learn it. But I've invested that time in the lab. Even though I can't properly execute out there on the court, it'll come with constant repetition. So as long as you're a point guard, if you're selling, you got to show growth. You got to show progress. So that way your teammates could rally behind you instead of your teammates or your consistent player base says, I can't mess with you, Brody. Some point guards never get there. Other point guards push through. It's all a matter of the effort you're going to put in. Salute to y'all, man. Hope everybody's having a good start to their weekend. We out here just kicking it. I wanted to talk about shooting badge setups because I just dropped the video on shooting badges, so we can get into that. Grinding the build in my career is enough for me to get in that groove. There you go, Kai. Now, for a novice 2K player, they might need a lot more because, grinding my career, and that's facts, Kai. Grinding my career without the understanding of online gameplay, you're going to set yourself up for a lot of losses out there. Listen, I know a lot of people go into my career and they score 50 to 100 points. Online gameplay is nothing like my career. And for a lot of us veterans out here, we can go into my career because we're not looking for what the defense is doing to us. We're just trying to get our animations right, get our shot selection right, things like this. But we already know what online play looks like. We're veterans of online play. So I appreciate that little tantrum. Some players are rush players and get upset when you take 2 seconds to scan the court. They instantly say pass. Oh my God. There's a lack of trust there. And there's only a lack of trust because they don't know you. So the reason why I find it extremely important for you guys to prioritize, too many people, there's too many players on 2K23. They're prioritizing the lab before they prioritize good teammates to run with. So I've been fortunate enough to find some good teammates to run with this year, right? Like when we want to get a solid 5 together, we'll get a solid 5 that we put us anywhere. At any level of competition, we could face them and compete. Now, when I go into my builder, if I say consider making a point guard position, when I go into my builder, it helps me create the right build that's suitable for the teammates that I'm running with. Damn it. I wish more players would just say, all right, I need to start getting my 5 together. Hold on a second. If I want to run the PG position, I need to make sure I have a lights out corner shoot, that both corners are shooting lights out, and that I got a hash player that's going to have that limitless on gold. You guys got to prioritize that, man. If you want to have a better experience, otherwise you're limiting yourself and you're creating your build It's gonna just be more difficult to create the right build for you. If you're a spot up shooter, not so much. You know, you just want to hit corners so you can hit those thresholds, and you say, well, I'm making this build. I rarely run into a good PG in the reg. That's big facts, Red Boy. You ain't lying about that. We barely run into good point guards, period. They just pull up and shoot, or they run away from the ball inbound. I'll say every 10 games I get 2 good point guards, and that's good. What up, Agent Q? I hate when someone won't hit you when you're wide. Yeah, that could be due to the legend grind. These folks are out here trying to get that 100,000 points, so they're not sacrificing nothing toward that legend grind. That could be it. I haven't talked about the badges setup yet, but I will. We'll get into the badges setup. We could get into it right now. I don't mind getting into it right now. Good teammates and chemistry is everything. Say it again, old man beginner. It changes your whole experience on 2K23 when you have good teammates and you could create your build around your teammates. And then, don't get me wrong, you're like, I know a lot of people are like, well, how that sounds? Creating my build around people that I don't even know if they're going to stay on 2K. What you do is, when you're finding good teammates to run with, this is the whole process behind us doing tryouts for the Lunatics. Is because when you match good IQ with good IQ, we already know what builds to bring out. So in other words, if you lose one of your teammates that you kind of built your player around, you're going to fill that spot with a very similar teammate. So for instance, instead of looking at it, when I'm asking for players, they always say, I got a small forward. I'm like, well, what does that mean to me? And I hope more people understand this. 2K23 is more about like size, and instead of your like position is more about size. So like the 3 and the 4 builds are particular type of builds, and that could go your 2 build. Your 2 build, if you're running point guard, should be a limitless range shooter at the hash. Not to say that when you start your lineup, well, they got me at the 3. No, that don't matter. I'm a 2 build. If you say you're a 2 build, you're a hash shooter with limitless on gold, point blank, period. If you're a 3 and 4 build, you may have limitless on gold, but you're going to be shooting out the corners. And your size range is going to be from 6'7" to like 6'9" or something like that. A 6'3" hash lock at the hash. Or somebody with limitless, even if they're taller, they got limitless on gold. And then the 5 is the 5. Whether you're in the 4 or power forward position, the 3, the small forward position, don't matter. None of that matters. A good point guard just wants to hear, all right, what are you, 6'7", 6'9"? All right, you run out the corner, cool. That's it. That's it. There's expectations for saying I play out the corner. There's expectations already held to just that alone. I'm a corner shooter, all right, expectation, bam. You stay there until I hit you. I set you up. Good point guards that are at least decent like myself will set up that shot for you to hit or call a backdoor cut. If you're a 3 or 4 type of player and you're shooting out the corner, you need at least 86 finishing at the least so you can take those backdoor cuts. You just need to be able to finish. Going from 86 passing to 80 passing, I feel more control because I gain more defense. I trust my vision and hit you when you are open. When they get a good PG, they can't even tell, and it's sad. Yeah, this is not to knock anybody, y'all. You get what I'm saying? This is not to knock y'all. This is to help if you're new to 2K or you're having trouble understanding why your teammates are bothered by your presence on the game. Maybe if you just log in some of these little things that I'm talking about, you'd be like, all right, now I'm ready to rock and roll. I know what y'all talking about now. I just was watching All City's live stream. I know what he was talking about the same thing, but he made it make sense instead of y'all just yelling at me. When y'all yelling at me, it don't make sense to me. And you notice when you see them on the court, you notice it because they like frazzled and they dead spin around in 360s. You're like, why are you spinning, homie? What are you confused about, Brody? It's like you got the corner. If nobody's in your corner, you come more towards the hash. If nobody's still in your corner, then you pick up the closest man. Stay out the paint, especially if you're 6'1" to 6'3". Stay out the paint. Let's talk about these badges, man, and what they're looking like. Badges. So let's go through them, man, because I was going through my video today, so I readjusted particular badges. For instance, if you're a spot up shooter, you don't want amped on, you'll go Claymore. There's for everybody that's not a point guard. I got that. Every single player, let me put this down so we can get this right. There's no confusion on the screen. Every single player who's a spot up shooter, and you guys let me know if you agree with this or not, yeah. Every single player that I've brought out, you guys know I don't like my career. So I don't worry about shooting percentages or nothing like that. Otherwise, I would have to grind my career before I bring players out. So I always bring out my players brand new and I go right online. So when it comes to percentages, I have to sacrifice my percentage just to get out there. And that's okay, as long as you got your shooting badge set up properly. I appreciate that, Xavier. Claymore is my priority badge, the first badge that I max out on every single player I ever brought out for 2K23. The very first badge I go for is Claymore. Now, if you guys don't know, Claymore gives you a boost the longer you sit still. So for all you guys that are motioning on defense and constantly on offense and constantly on your toes moving, thinking that you're juking your defender, you're just keeping your defender on their toes, and the point guard wants your defender flat-footed. So this way, when your point guard calls a backdoor cut, your defender is flat-footed. So stop that motion. Stop it. Claymore, what it does for you, when you're standing still, you receive a boost, and that boost gets bigger. The longer you stand still, the boost goes up to something like 4 seconds. So you stay still for 4 seconds in the corner, you receive the max benefits of the Claymore badge. I could be confused about the amount of time, but I'm almost certain that it's 4 seconds. If I'm mistaken, please let me know. Yeah, so Spence, I'm going to explain what guard up does in just a second, being that you wanted to be a funny guy and put the dead emoji. Spence, first of all, your name is Spence, so you have your own problems to deal with IRL. So we'll explain why I have the guard up badge. The guard up badge was considered terrible prior to the season 4 update, and Tiny Spence, you could probably sit still here because you sound like you're random if you don't know about why I have the guard up badge. So I'll explain it for you guys. The guard up badge prior to the season 4 update was absolutely terrible. But after the season 4 update, you guys may have noticed you're getting a bunch of ghost contests on your shots, where you feel you're wide open, but you're seeing a ghost contest on your shots. Like, what the hell is going on? So the homie All City Slim found out just yesterday that guard up is eliminating those ghost contests that somehow appeared after the season 4 update. Now, in my opinion, guard up is not an absolutely necessary badge, but after the season 4 update, shooting has been completely erratic. So and I noticed the contest system is going through some weird stages right now. So this is why guard up could help you if you want to consider it and see if you notice a change in those ghost contests that a lot of players are suffering through. That might help you. And that's what we were testing out last time prior to season 4 update. Never used guard up. Absolutely terrible badge. After the season 4 update, you guys may want to consider it. So shout out to you, Spence, for helping us segue. Tiny Spence, Little Timmy, thank you so much for helping us segue into why some players may consider equipping the guard up badge. So Claymore is going to be prioritized. This your starting setup. Please don't look at the badges overall, y'all. Please don't look at the badges overall. What up, Slim? There's a way in which you prioritize these badges, because some of your builds are not going to have a ton of badges to equip. So the way in which you prioritize it as a spot up, Claymore first, max it out. Then you get Green Machine. But what I noticed is that for a lot of players, Green Machine is tier 2. So you're not going to have enough badge points initially after you max Claymore to go to Green Machine. So what you do is you put those badges on Volume Shooter, because Volume Shooter is giving you a boost, like a shot boost. Whether it's a make or a miss, you get a little boost toward your shot the more shots that you take. So you'll get Volume Shooter up until you unlock the Green Machine tier 2. So if you get 4 badges here, then you'll dump those on the Green Machine when tier 2 is available to you, or you can, start maxing that out and then start again on Volume Shooter. So, this is your foundation. Your foundation as a spot-up shooter is Claymore, Volume Shooter, Green Machine, or Claymore, Green Machine, then Volume Shooter. And that'll serve as your foundation. And after your foundation, everything else comes toward like play style, yeah. Everything else, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, please share your thoughts. Everything else goes toward play style. And think badges like Clutch Shooter and Comeback Kid, like the homie All City Slim told us about the Comeback Kid badge, where this badge, again, a badge that was completely irrelevant, but of course you can't trust 2K. The badge says boost shooters, mid-range, and three-point abilities when trailing in a game. And there was supposed to be some clear distinction as to when this badge was supposed to activate. And that's when you're down by a specific amount of points. But, of course, 2K's fail mechanics showcase that Comeback Kid activates whenever you're down. So you don't need to specifically be down by a certain amount of points. So that's something you may want to consider to get a slight boost from Comeback Kid. Clutch Shooter helps your free throws at the end of the game and also helps you shoot better at the end of the game. Agent 3s, you already know. Agent 3s is a play style badge. Let me read through some of the comments so I'm not ignoring you guys. Carlton Riley, and we'll get back on these badges and talk about Agent 3s. Let's get through these comments first. Let's get through these comments in the full screen. Dude left me in the corner and ran to the hash, so hash man passed to me and still was contested, although he was not facing me. Guard up could be good, and blinders should work with that as well, Carlton. Learn something new every day. Appreciate that, Blast. All City, can you comment on the recommended badge levels for the badges you're recommending? Yeah, max. That foundation of badges, Claymore, Volume Shooter, Green Machine, max. If you got more badge points, then you put them somewhere else. Or if you're trying out a different thing, like say, if you're limited in badge points, let's say you're limited in badge points, right? Then there probably isn't much else you can consider. But your foundation for Claymore as a spot-up, for shooting badges as a spot-up shooter is Claymore, Green Machine, Volume Shooter. That'll help get you right. And then everything else you're considering based on your play style. So when we lean towards Agent 3s, if you're a spot-up shooter and you're never taking, all right, so we had the homie Real Slim Brazy. He's a lockdown. He plays out of the corner, a very different corner shooter than a lot of you players out there. He'll motion in toward committing, like at least baiting a drive, and then he'll step back. And I'll talk about catch and shoot in just a second. And then he'll step back with like a LeBron James type step back and hit a 3. So we see him do this consistently. A corner player like that should most likely want the Agent 3's badge. Unlock it at gold with the 89 3-point attribute. Something to strive for when you guys, and it could expand your gameplay if you're taking those step backs. But if you're a corner shooter or a spot up shooter that primarily is, you got a great point guard, there's no need for you to set up. Let go of Agent 3's. Make sure your core foundation is good first before you go equipping playstyle badges. If you want to expand your gameplay, consider a different build. Instead of putting Agent 3's at lower levels, although Silver is a good Agent 3's badge level as well, primarily folks shoot for gold. If you want to start really incorporating those step backs and dribble pull-ups into your game, which is not a bad thing, but you got to consider these are specific gameplay or gameplay style type of badges. Spot up shooters should serve their foundation, Claymore, Green Machine, Volume Shooter. So now let's talk about the next badges, because we spoke about blinders and Deadeye in a video, but we'll get into it in this live stream in case you guys haven't gotten the knowledge yet. We'll talk about it. Limitless range, I got it on this build. If you could only get it on silver, it's not a bad thing. Silver is not a bad thing. But gold is what point guards are primarily looking for, because gold increases that percentage to shoot at the hash, and there's a huge difference between gold and silver in regards. I think it's let me see if I got the numbers here before we continue. You know, I like to pull out the Bible, the 2K Bible, because I got a bunch of badge information here, and I'm pretty sure I have the numbers. All right, here we go. There's the difference in limitless range, so you guys know this. Alani, that's funny. Dos pelotas. But these are the differences in your make percentage between silver and gold, and this is why more point guards want their hash shooter to have it at the very least on gold, because at the silver level you can make about 54% of your shots from the hash, which is not bad, 1 out of every 2 shots, but that number jumps tremendously when you equip it on gold to 69%. So keep that in mind, y'all. That is why the expectation is gold, although silver can work. It's like better than nothing. Don't equip the badge on bronze, please, and go out there and say you're going to set up from the hash. Please don't do that. Let's get into the next one. Corner specialist, take it off. I don't like corner specialists. I don't know if it's working. Kai, have you noticed corner specialists get a boost after the season 4 update? From my understanding and from NBA 2K Labs tests, corner specialist gives you damn near no boost. So keep that in mind. That'd be a UFC badge. So keep that in mind, y'all. So now let's talk about Deadeye, Catch and Shoot, and Blinders, so we could clarify, in case you guys, these are highly controversial badges, but of course I take this knowledge in so I could share it with you guys. Although I may not be able to execute, I have the knowledge to share with you guys, and maybe you guys could execute like crazy out there if you have the right badge set up. The Blinders badge versus the Deadeye badge, and we'll talk about Catch and Shoot. Oh, my fault, you guys, I'm over here on full screen, my fault. So I was trolling the guy. He said corner, but absolutely not. I have never used corner. It's useless. All right, Kai, cool. That helped me, because I was worried about you for a second, Kai. I said, oh, nah, don't tell me Kai is using corner specialist, but it's all good. So we'll talk about Blinders and Deadeye. I forgot I was on full screen. I was over here showcasing certain stuff. Yes, sir, Keith Bergman. Now, what the Blinders badge is doing for y'all, when a defender is at least at a 45-degree angle or more, you'll get, even on crab animations, you get that Blinders badge to activate. The difference between Blinders and Deadeye, and there's definitely, it's like the Blinders badge is way more forgiving and activates way more than Deadeye. Not only that, the boost that you receive from the Blinders badge, although they activate differently, I should say, the Blinders badge expands your green window. It gives you percentages, higher percentages throughout the green window. Where the Deadeye badge, you only receive the full benefits of the Deadeye badge if you hit the very middle of the green window. So where Blinders is more beneficial, because if you're mistiming your shots, you'll gain some boost from those mistimed shots, and it'll boost your make percentage. Blinders is just way more forgiving for you guys. But the difference is you gotta create that shot that puts the defender alongside of you. For instance, Deadeye, when we're looking at Deadeye, let's say you're a step back. You got a LeBron James or a Kevin Durant step back. You just step back and force the defender into a late closeout. When you force that defender into a late closeout, although you may get the badge to activate, you only receive the full boost. In other words, it's like the graph is like peaking. where the full boost is like super excellent timing. Center of the green window is where you receive the max boost. And as you mistime your shot, you receive less and less boost from the Deadeye badge. So everything else is going to be your discretion, yeah. If you decide to equip it or not, as long as you have the knowledge of how it's activating, then you can move forward on which badge to activate. If you're a step back shooter forcing defenders to close out and that's your primary game, you don't equip the blinders badge because they're closing out from in front of you. As a step back shooter, you're like baiting the drive and then stepping back. And that forces the defender into a late closeout, which will normally activate the Deadeye badge. If you have blinders, it's not going to activate. And you can stack these badges. These badges can get stacked. So keep that in mind as well. The catch and shoot badge. So I'm curious to see how many of you folks out there, he loves blinders, so imagine it for a guard. Big facts. That's dope. That's dope to know because I was curious how big men feel about the blinders badge. But the catch and shoot badge, I'm curious to know. I haven't really run catch and shoot all year, although this was a primary go-to badge for previous versions of 2K. This year, I haven't been comfortable with running catch and shoot because I felt like I was shooting good without it. Except after the season 4 update, where things are so erratic that it leaves us like scratching our heads and we're like, yo, what, do I need a different badge to start hitting again? Like, what the hell is going on? So that's where catch and shoot came into play. And that was, I think, 2 nights ago. You guys know I play this game every day with our Discord community. If you guys would like to run with me or our squad, or even try out for the Lunatics, type !Discord in the chat, and the link will come up. You could join. And I'm always accessible. I be in the party chat on Discord. So you could come in and say, what up? Yo, what up, City? We good. But anyway, the catch and shoot badge, what I noticed 2 nights ago, and I can't say, it's tough because how erratic shooting is, all these weird things that are happening day in and day out after the season 4 update. It's wild. There's no consistency of what's going on. So I put on the catch and shoot badge 2 days ago, and I got to say this, y'all. I can't confirm it to be the case. I don't know if it was just that day that catch animations, like the sliders for poor catch animations, were put down. But I felt like I was getting better catch animations, leading to a fluid, smooth jump shot that we're used to, say, from 2K22. You catch, shoot, bang. Set shot 25 was a lifesaver. Imagine a set shot 25 in NBA 2K23, how that would look. So, for instance, yesterday I got on. I was using catch and shoot as well. Yesterday I got on, and the timing was so bad, maybe because there was an event going on, that everybody was bricking. I tried running point guard yesterday. It was a nightmare. My moves were coming out 2 seconds after I queued them up. My jump shot was wildly off. Wild. And everybody was bricking. Everybody's like, what the hell is going on? Like, what's going on? So we had to switch point guards, and then the new point guard went through the same process and was bricking as well. And I'm like, thank God it wasn't only me. I don't want to hit the lab no more. I'm just like tired of it. We are 4 seasons in. For players that play the game every day should have this thing locked in already. So I put on catch and shoot 2 days ago. It felt fluid. It felt good. It felt like catch and shoot made a difference. Went out yesterday with the same badges. Not so much. So I'm kind of iffy about catch and shoot. It's in the game. About to test it again. Shooting changes hourly on some days, and we felt it. Yeah, you ain't lying. We felt it. Same thing. Yeah, it works similar to vice grip in a way. Without it, you get some dodgy catch animation. Set shot 25 is in the game for 6'5", 6'9". Oh, okay. Well, we're talking, we're not talking about this. This is what we're getting at. We're not saying that if there's a set shot 25 in 2K23. Well, what I'm talking about is the impact that set shot 25 had on NBA 2K22 versus what it has in NBA 2K23. The impact that set shot 25 had on NBA 2K22 allowed average shooters to become GOATs. Set Shot 25 is not doing that in 2K23. Ain't nobody using that joint. So that's what I'm referencing for Set Shot 25. Although I appreciate you sharing it. It's just not the same. I loved Set Shot 25. Super fast release. Super fast, man. I'm talking about the defender thinks he's guarding you in the corner. He thinks he's guarding you. But he's just one step back thinking he can make a contest. And Set Shot 25 said, oh, hell no. No contest for you, buddy. No suit for you. I've been having trouble. One day my jumper feels slow. Next day it feels faster. Never constant. Yeah, we're going through the same thing, Charles. The best players are going through the same thing. Yesterday, I know my jump shot timing. I've been using a very similar jump shot all year. So I know my jump shot timing. But yesterday, I went to pump fake. Buzz this, y'all. Vibe out with me for a second. Hold on a second. I got to go full screen for this, B. Because this was crazy yesterday. So I'm struggling to shoot. I tried at the point guard position. I said, yo, I got to get off this point guard. I'm not finna sell y'all. I'm getting off. Somebody else need to run point. So we got somebody else on. They went through the same process I was going through at point guard. So I started trying to spot up shoot. This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. So I'm struggling to shoot the rock even as a spot up shooter yesterday. And everybody was going through the same thing. I was straight shooting one for Tron. And I go to shoot the rock the few times and I'm mistiming it, even though I feel like I'm looking at the animation cue. I'm like, damn, that felt good. And it's just bricking. All right, cool. So then one time they passed it to me and I thought I was going to pump fake. So I just tapped it. Like, I just hit square right now. That's what, oh, y'all can't see that. Are you sure? No, all right. So I just tapped the button to pump fake and the joint shot. Do you know that joint was an excellent release? I know my shot timing, so I'm going to hold it. I can't tell you how many milliseconds, but I'm going to hold it. And there's a significant amount of time. I'm using LaMelo Ball, but it's a significant amount of time and it's longer than just a tap. So I accidentally tapped it thinking that I was going to pump fake and the joint shot and it was excellent. So we all, I tripped out yesterday and I told everybody, yo, I just tapped it. So the next time down, they hit me again and I tapped again. It was green again. I said, oh, hell, imagine if I consistently held what I know to be the shot timing for my jump shot, I would have consistently kept bricking. I would have consistently kept bricking out there. So a lot of times it ain't us. We felt it on defense. We felt it. Like you feel yourself swerving, like you can't, and your steal and swipe animations are just slow. And if you're running point guard, when you do that crossover, you'll notice that the defender is consistently staying in front of you and there's no misdirection happening there. Where when it's responsive, when the game is highly responsive, you could misdirect, at the very least, misdirect that defender, the best defender, at least one step. Like I know when it's responsive, I'm going to misdirect any defender in front of me at least one step. At some point, but when you see that defense consistently staying in front of you, that's because your animations that you're queuing up are coming out delayed. So the defender already is motioning in that way, but you see him on screen, he's already here. So you're thinking crossover to the left hand, he's already there. And you're like, hold on, nothing's working here. And everything, the whole gameplay ends up collapsing. And that's what we've been experiencing. I need some hoopers to run with on PS5. These randoms are the worst. And I don't blame you, man. You guys are doing yourself a disservice by running with randoms. I keep telling you, how many times, for the folks that hear consistently, how many times do I recommend our Discord community? Man, I am saying this through almost every video. I am saying this through every live stream. Join our Discord. Stop running with randoms. And if you find some of the members in our Discord to be random-like or random-ish, then consider trying out. If you try out for the Lunatics, you have the opportunity to get added to a group of verified players in our Discord, players that me and the leaders in our Discord vouch for and say they got good IQ. Your whole experience will be night and day. Match good IQ with good IQ, you get a better overall experience out there. Trust and believe it. What up, Xavier? 2K, please fix your game. What do you think about the AMP badge? AMP is great. So, let's talk about these badges. Let me get into it some more as well, because I know folks are curious about the AMP badge too. And AMP is a badge that you definitely should consider. At the bronze, it starts boosting. You should go high on the AMP badge if you can. I recently saw the information on AMP badge. I can't recall. I think it's a badge that you max out if you're at the point guard position. But here's the thing here. If you're spot up, you don't necessarily need it because you're not depleting your energy the good majority of the time. But if you have no badges, why not? I get it. But the AMP badge for a PG position is probably really important because you're depleting your energy. And there's an indicator on your stamina bar when AMP will get activated. So your stamina gets about, I think it's 50%. And then AMP gets activated. Then your stamina bar starts glowing yellow, in case you guys didn't realize that. When you have this badge equipped, your stamina bar will glow yellow, saying that you are in amped activation. If you shoot right now, you're going to shoot and AMP is going to activate. There's a misconception for the AMP badge because folks think that if they equip this badge, they won't have to suffer the timing fluctuations. And that's not the case. And if you have low stamina, you're going to still suffer up to an 80% slowdown in your shot timing. If a defender's in proximity, you're going to still go through the increase in shot timing because a defender is nearby. But the AMP does nothing to change any of that. What it does is help you hit those shots if you time your shot correctly. So although you still get the slowdown, this is more like an elite badge for elite players that have learned the different shot timing fluctuations. So keep that in mind, y'all. If you learn all these different shot timing fluctuations, that's when AMP is really going to prove beneficial for y'all. And it's possible that it's only working when it's blinked, because that's how it used to be. Tireless scorer, tireless shooter is only working when you're completely depleted. But in NBA 2K23, the bar blinks yellow when you're in amped activation. So that's how they used to work before, but you should see activation. If you guys see anything different, let me know. I would love to know. I really don't pay much mind to AMP because it's not my play style. So I'm usually at my best. I'm in the spot up position, whether that's hash or corner, and I don't prioritize the AMP badge. And I'm bricking out there on particular days regardless. One day I could come in without amped and everything is hitting. Your animations are queuing up perfectly. You're misdirecting defenders left and right. And I won't need amped. It's just so weird. I wish we could lock all this stuff in where if we had a certain level of consistency with our experience playing the game, then we could confirm a lot of this stuff. Where in previous versions of 2K, you couldn't tell me nothing about badges at all. At all. We knew everything. We knew when everything will activate. We knew because of the gameplay being a bit more consistent than what we're experiencing, especially in regards to shooting. Shooting has always maintained consistency. In 2K, you'll have to change your jump shot, but if you switch to the right jump shot, you're always going to shoot consistent. In NBA 2K23, oh my God. The best players, spot up, 92, higher. 97 3 ball, missing, wide open. It's like, oh no, hell no. We don't go through that. Shooting badge, every shooting build needs. What's a shooting badge every shooting build needs? A green machine. That's a solid choice to say. Green machine is a shooting badge every shooting build needs. Volume shooter is going to help you out. But then when you consider Claymore, if you're a spot up shooter, you use Claymore. If you're not a spot up shooter, then you probably lean towards PG position. You go Agent 3s. If you want to incorporate spot up shooting with step backs, then you go Claymore and Agent Threes. So badge effectiveness, that is what you say. 2K needs to buff shooting back to how it was release season 2 and 3. I was shooting lights out and then I have to change badges. Facts, yeah. I was going through the same thing, bro. Shout out to James Williams. I was going through the same thing where any build I brought out, brand new, veteran, it didn't matter. I came out there, I was shooting. And you know what the beauty of it was? The beauty that I found in 2K23 is that when you were shooting, you ever play games where, like, if you're high up, like say you're crossing one mountain to another, like a game that kind of gives you depth, that you see how high you are. And if you fall, you kind of get the feeling that you're falling, even though you're just playing a video game. If you're falling from too high, you kind of feel that. Well, that's what I felt with shooting in 2K23, where it was such a smooth range of motion, so responsive to what you're queuing up, that you knew it was a good shot before you even saw the green animation. That's good money. You felt the shot all the way through, from the pull-up to releasing. You felt it all the way through. In Season 4, I can't say that's the case. Sometimes I feel like I gotta release it at my chest. Sometimes I feel like I gotta release it up top. It's just so weird. And we know about shot timing. We're clear about shot timing. But it just feels weird. Cool as cozy. Why do you think 2K dies down around this time? Well, it's getting earlier and earlier and earlier in the year. And I think dies down is subjective to the player experience. But like, I don't think 2K's finances will say, or 2K's financial department will say, yeah, we're dying down. But at least these social media type players do seem to die down. And it's getting earlier and earlier in the year with each release of 2K. And I'm watching this happen. Before it used to be 6 months, or maybe even 8 months. And then it goes to 6 months. And now it's going to 4 months. And I'm watching it happen right before my eyes. And it's clear as day obvious to me that it's because 2K, their consistent changes lead to microtransactions. So 2K as a business is taking over the gameplay experience. And they're not seeing that their player base kind of dwindles down per se. Or at least the veterans that have had previous experiences with 2K don't like what they're experiencing now. So they move on to, I think it's a combination of moving on to different games, experiencing new games with the next gen consoles as well. So folks aren't nearly as tolerant for 2K's tactics. That's what I think. Could be something along those lines. What's good? Is Guard Up a good badge? Well, what we learned about Guard Up, prior to the Season 4 update, there weren't nearly as many ghost contests as we're experiencing in the Season 4 update. So the homie All City Slim recommended putting Guard Up on, which I tried last night too, but shooting was terrible last night. So we couldn't really confirm what's Guard Up doing in regards to those ghost contests. But the idea behind it is that after the Season 4 update, we're getting more ghost contests from defenders that are not even in the vicinity to make a contest. So the Guard Up badge is a badge that increases the ability to make jump shots when defenders fail to properly contest, which should help eliminate those ghost contests. So that's the theory behind it, and we're going to put that to the test for sure to absolutely confirm, because I know I was getting a lot of ghost contests where the dudes were not even in the vicinity, but they're getting 12% contest on my shot. And I'm like, oh, hell nah. The hell is that? And I would have Deadeye on too. So I was trying different things. I would have these badges on as well. So today we're going to give this another go, and I'll be able to confirm maybe in tomorrow's live stream if Guard Up proves beneficial towards those ghost contests. Does it activate after one? Sometimes it activates on one. It is erratic. I ain't going to front with Green Machine. Sometimes it activates on one. Sometimes it activates after two. It is a bit erratic. So we haven't been able to pimp. And it's been doing that for a couple years now. So we haven't. It's just that this year, it seems that Green Machine is the most effective. Where Green Machine was definitely a good badge to have on your build in previous versions of 2K, but it wasn't your foundation set for badge points. It was just a badge that you put on as an accessory, or a badge you put on to complement what you have already set up as your foundation. Now it's a foundation badge. So at least that's what we're learning. Why y'all ain't hit the like? Yeah, please hit the like button if you can. 173 in the chat. Oh, 183. That's dope. Appreciate y'all being here. All right, let's read what Zelo's right. Zelo's right. Said this game trash. Ain't no if or buts. Oh, got you. Ain't no if or buts, man. Zelo said the game is trash. What up, Ned? What up, man? Been a minute. Appreciate you, man. In my opinion, I think Garda badge is not needed. I can be wrong though. Well, yeah. What we've learned, again, I gotta stress this, y'all. Prior to the season 4 update, nobody equipped guard up. So hopefully I make that clear. Nobody was equipping the guard up badge. Trash badge prior to season 4 update. Ghost contests started appearing after the season 4 update. And this is why guard up is being considered. So hopefully if you guys start noticing ghost contests, maybe you consider, but I'll try and confirm, and I'll keep my eye on this badge during today's gameplay. So I'll try and confirm, see if this badge is activating, and maybe I'll make a video on it tomorrow and we could talk some more about guard up. What's good, my guy? Out here from BK, Mr. Will. Appreciate the love from BK. That's what it is, man. Salute to all my New Yorkers out there. It's much love. Me personally, born and raised in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, Alphabet City, Avenue D. In case you guys are curious to know, the melting pot. It would be nice to switch your build before the match starts. All they care about is money. I would entice people to make more builds. Oh, it would entice people to make more. They lost me when they nerfed steals, to be honest. Green Machine, Volume Shooter, and Agent are my core badges. Appreciate you sending it, Major. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, that's what this is about, man. Listen, when we're in these live streams, I'm not here to tell y'all anything. Hopefully y'all get that. And hopefully as you connect more with me in the live streams and in our Discord community, you guys will learn that, hey, I'm a player just like you. I just have access. I'm fortunate enough to have access to a ton of great players. So we communicate and we share knowledge, share our experience. And then I take all that information and then we go live. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not here to talk to you guys. I'm here to talk with you guys. And if you guys have different opinions or ideas about some of the things that I'm saying, sound off in the chat, because maybe I can learn something. Or maybe you could teach somebody else something in the chat. That's what this whole thing is about. 2K is just about money. Now they don't care to make a game that is based on skill. It's all just about badges now. What up, Certified? Much love. Appreciate you from the BX. BX, stand up. I spent a lot of years in BK. I spent a lot of years in I spent probably outside of the Lower East Side. I spent the most amount of time. I lived in every borough. That's why, hence the word all city, except Staten Island. Staten Island, it's not really considered. But and shout out to all the dudes from Shaolin. I'm not knocking y'all for that. But if you grew up in another borough, most people don't move to Shaolin. But I spent a good majority of my life in the BX, all over the BX. 169th and 3rd, 138th and Cypress, 173rd and Jerome. This is Pelham Parkway. I lived all over the BX, bro, like wild. But anyway, it is what it is. I know folks are like, what the hell are you talking about? These are some crazy places, y'all. These are some places that if you're not used to that BX life, you probably don't want to go. You don't go out there just acting silly. It's some fun times though. I love the BX, man. It took a little getting used to moving to the BX, but it's one of those things especially from the Lower East Side. When you're from the Lower East Side, where I grew up, we have more connection because we're right between Harlem and Brooklyn. So we have more connection with Harlem and Brooklyn influence than we do with the BX. But man, I tell you, when I moved to the BX, it was a little shock treatment at first because almost everywhere I lived in the BX, someone got hit, and you either heard about it. I remember after I was already numb to everything, I'm walking home from the train station at that time, coming back from work because I lived the train station was about a block, maybe 2 blocks away from my home. And you get so numb to it, this dude just got out of his car, popped the dude right there, left him there, and walked back in his car right in front of me. And I just kept walking to the store. This stuff I grew up in, but as an adult, you start experiencing and you get numb to it. It gets, you don't want to get numb to that stuff, man. You don't want to get numb to that stuff. So when I look back and I said, damn, dude just got popped. And I just went to the store like nothing happened. The homicide detectives came up and whatnot. But it is what it is, man. You definitely don't want to get numb to that stuff. Yeah, I'm by Fordham University. Salute to you, certified. Woodside, Queens. I love Woodside, Queens, man. I lived in Ridgewood for a long period of time in my younger days. When I moved out the Lower East Side of New York, I moved directly to Ridgewood. That was the first time moving out, and I loved Ridgewood. Loved going to Woodside. I'm from Camden, New Jersey. Bronx and Brooklyn is equally grimy. Facts. You should be able to switch your badges up in the rec like you can in park. It would be dope to switch your badges up. I ain't gonna front, like a halftime or even on a timeout. Like you're getting dogged in the paint. Maybe you want to put on post move lockdown, even though I don't normally. But you just want to switch some up or switch a badge level up. You call a timeout and switch a badge. Wouldn't that make perfect sense? Hey, call a timeout. I need to switch my badges because this dude is kind of goated. And then that helps increase the strategy between teams. I'm from Williamsburg, Lindsay, right across the Williamsburg Bridge. Yeah. South First right there. Yeah. Salute to you, Jamel Aldridge, man. Yeah. If you don't know, the Lower East Side constantly went across that bridge for things that I'd rather not dive deep into. But yeah, right across the Willie B was it was crazy. It was something. Any tips on how to release meter dunk with a 99 driving dunk? Unfortunately, I am not the person to offer tips on the dunk meter because it's some that I don't like. I don't like the dunk meter, man. I don't find it to be a fluid motion to activate your dunk meter. Hitting up and down while you're on your drive doesn't make sense to me. And I can never lock it in. Salute to all those folks who, get that chopped cheese. Yeah, get that chopped cheese. It's dumb that you can't put it in a 2-3 zone and wreck. Yeah, they used to be, at least in Pro-Am used to. We all have rap problems, facts. Big homie, love your channel. Always appreciate your content, your vibe, and the love you show the community. I have a 2-way slasher at shooting guard. What would be the best badges to use? A 2-way slasher at shooting guard. So, I could work with that. 2-way slasher at shooting guard. Let's talk about that. What's your 3-pointer, homie? I appreciate your comment as well. But, I gave you guys the base foundation for your shooting badges. So a 2-way slasher, that's going to be I don't know if you're running the PG. If you're running the PG, you want Agent 3s and take off Claymore. If you're a spot up with your 2-way slashing, then you make sure you have Claymore higher. And you might even still want Agent 3s to step back 3 or drive into the paint as a 2-way slasher. But primary foundation for your shooting badges is Claymore, Volume Shooter, and Green Machine. And then everything else will be based around your gameplay as long as you understand how these badges activate. Playmaking, you just, your quick first step, your clamp breaker, especially as a 2-way slasher, you want that clamp breaker on and you're unpluckable as high as it can go. And you may even want the bailout badge. I heard hyperdrive has changed where now it only activates on, like, it is only effective on the walk down the court. So you get the biggest speed boost out of that, but I'm not exactly sure about that. I always have it equipped. I leave special delivery on because we like to throw alley-oops, but I gotta say alley-oops have been hella goofy. Defense, I won't get into. That's gonna be your preference. But some of the things that I've noticed, which, your limitless takeoff is gonna be your most primary finishing option. And the Acrobat badge is still working effectively. So if you guys don't understand how to activate Acrobat, just mash your square button. If you see that you're going to be contested or your animation changes on your finishing, keep mashing that square button. You'll activate the Acrobat animation, or rotate your stick. If you rotate, if you rotate your stick, you'll get the same Acrobat animation in the direction you want to lay the rock up. But Limitless Takeoff on Silver is working great for players when you activate the correct dunk packages, something like LeBron or straight arm tomahawks, uber athletic tomahawks, things like that. And you'll activate it the way, what Limitless Takeoff does for your players out there. It's, if you got, now folks have this misconception on 2K that they're like, well, I got the Limitless Takeoff badge, but the dunk animations that you have equipped, which we'll get into. Oh, let me Rivero changes an exit. Okay. The dunk animations are like your priority here. And that's what folks have a misconception about, is that they think that because they put on the badge, that their dunk animations are just supposed to let them take off from further. But if you have dunk packages that don't have animations that take off from far, your Limitless Takeoff is pointless. So I'll give you guys a for instance. Let's go, and I know exactly what to look at. Let's go into Ja Morant. You see I got the Ja Morant package on. I barely, if ever, activate this animation. What you guys are looking for is where you jump from. Where are your feet at on the court when you actually lift off? So the Ja Morant dunk package is primarily to drive in and then take off from close to the rack. Although it's like a nice drive animation, where you actually jump off the ground is closer to the basket. And what we noticed after the interior defense buff or the finishing nerf is that more players are getting contested when their dunk animation has them take off from closer toward the basket. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But if you look at the LeBron James package, he takes off from further back, like that dunk animation right there, taking off from the foul line. So when you have Limitless Takeoff at the very least on Silver, then you start activating those further animations more often. And that's what Limitless Takeoff does for you. But you need to make sure the job is not done just by equipping the badge. You need to go into your dunk animations and make certain that you got the animations that have the far takeoff, whatever's convenient for you. So that's the key for the two-way slasher build. That should cover everything. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, Schlichenberger said it started taking off, but yeah, you'll get the same. So when you're actually driving, which we'll go into the Pro-Am arena so I can show you guys, when you're on your drive, I'll show you exactly where to activate it so you can get these animations more often. And salute to our homie All City Tron for showcasing this to us, because we have yet to see another point guard activate those takeoff dunks as frequent as All City Tron does. So if you guys want to see that in action, hopefully we'll have him come out today and showcase how to effectively use that Limitless Takeoff. But when you're out here, this is our Pro-Am arena, by the way. We're going to get into Pro-Am as soon as we fill up the Lunatics. As soon as we finish up the Lunatics tryouts, we'll start getting into Pro-Am. These are our Maniacs. So you see the logo there. Oh, I didn't mean to shoot that. I was trying to spin the camera to showcase the Maniacs. But that's our Maniacs logo there. What you want to do is when you're driving, you're going to activate right there. Do you see what I'm saying? So you're going to activate at the foul line when you're driving. So if you misdirect them and you get a defender swerving, you'll activate at the foul line and he'll take off. And it's probably even like once you're stepping into the foul line, probably like that one step before, like right around here, it's a thin line because sometimes it'll pull you into like a dribble pull-up animation. So it's a thin line. But if you got enough momentum, you'll take off. So after a speed boost, you'll take off. And, that's what you want to take into consideration. My glass cleaning finisher build, the 7-footer, I haven't really used them, but I haven't given them a shot. So I do need to bring that build out to give them a shot in season 4. I'd hit level 40, so I guess now I'll just be trying new things out. So I might consider bringing them out. Today, I want to run gameplay with this build so that way I could test out the guard up badge. But I will get to the 7-footer. I'll get to the 7-footer. I know when I brought him out in season 4 for like 1 or 2 games, he was still able to shoot with that 79 3-ball, but I still didn't like the interior defense. I need to give him a better effort and bring him out there again and see what happens. Scottie Pippen and LeBron are the best for big guards. That's great advice, Kai. Why do you think we get layup animation when hitting right trigger to do dunks? It don't appear all the time, but it do it at the worst time. It's 2K. You know, sometimes 2K developed an impact engine where in previous versions of 2K, if you activated a dunk, you went for a dunk no matter what. If somebody activated a SWAT block animation, because I don't know if you guys remember these SWAT blocks where he just, if you activated, you got that no matter what. If you activated jumping straight up for defense contest, you'll activate it. If you activated a layup, you get that. But with 2K's impact engine, and I think they incorporated it in maybe 2K21, at least that's when they announced it, they started letting the impact take priority over what animations played out. And I know that was a goal at 2K, trying to create realism and lean more towards simulating the NBA or some of the things we experience in the NBA. But they forgot the fun factor when they considered incorporating that and what it takes away from our gameplay experience. Because anyone who sees a lane and activates a dunk animation should have that animation follow through. We shouldn't be at the mercy of what 2K, we should never lose control. We activated a dunk, get a dunk. If you throw a punch in a boxing match, if you throw a punch in a boxing game, you activate that particular punch. If I throw a jab, I'll activate it. The gameplay shouldn't have me activate a jab and then I throw a right hook. It shouldn't be like that, right? So I think 2K's impact engine really changed our overall gameplay experience, and they take over your players in too many instances. We lose control. And I've been preaching this for a couple years now, where it's just like, yo, 2K. And they know this. They know this because the last 2 years, upon releasing their new version of the game, they mentioned giving players back their control. So they know it's an issue, and they like to market. They like to use it in their marketing as we're giving it back to the players, but they seem to fail every time. Guard up over Deadeye? Nah, I wouldn't say guard. No, I definitely wouldn't say guard up over Deadeye. Let's see if shooting's good. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say guard up over Deadeye, yeah. We just got to see how season 4 progresses in regards to these ghost contests. I wouldn't say that right now because I haven't done a full assessment of the guard up badge. We recently found out that the guard up badge could help limit ghost contests. So we're going to put that to the test in today's gameplay and see if guard up is effective out there, how much it limits these ghost contests. Since the season 4 update, we've received a ton of ghost contests. I don't know what they did in the coding for the update, but it's changed everything. And we're going to put that to the test in today's gameplay. And then I'll go on over into my 7-foot build and see if that's even a viable option to bring out there. Hot take. You should be able to specifically choose what animations you want out of each package. That would be dope. I was thinking that the other day. Salute to you, Kai. I was thinking that the other day where, hold on, let me see. Let me finish reading. You should also be able to use each axis of the analog to activate said animation. I love it. Guard up with Deadeye sounds perfect. And I was thinking the same thing too, Slim. It was like guard up with Deadeye sounds like what it is supposed to be. But I was going through my animations, right? And you see the animation package and you're like, damn, I want that with this. But you can't get that with this. And I really dislike, and I'm going to showcase it right now. I really dislike that in this 2K, I can't get combinations to activate consistently. In other words, when you're learning and I'll break this down. You know, when you're learning your shot, you shoot consistently and you start learning the timing, right? You start learning. So you start shooting consistently, you learn, and you see your progression. What I don't like in 2K, I don't know if it has something to do with the analog stick, or maybe there's too many different animations. You know how you get if you hit diagonal to the off ball hand, you get kind of this animation here, and the other side, you get that animation there. Well, when you're in intense gameplay, you're trying to make things happen, and it may be a matter of my lack of lab work. But damn, how much lab work do I need to do to get a simple combination to activate consistently is the key here. So it seems like the animation for a diagonal up and just hitting like right off ball, like they're too closely tied together. So sometimes you think you're hitting diagonal up, but during intense gameplay, you may have just hit left. Or it may activate diagonal. If you're thinking left, it may activate diagonal down left. And that's what I dislike during intense gameplay, especially. You feel like you get busy and you just don't get the animation that you actually want. And I'll take accountability as saying that it may be my lack of consistent lab work that may be due to this. But I tell you, when I'm in the lab, when I spend some of those days in the lab for hours, I still feel unsatisfied with the results. I don't know if any of you guys are experiencing the same thing, but I feel unsatisfied with the results. Yeah, what up, Chaz? Yeah, like I said, I speak from a gamer's experience first, and I don't try to let my ego take precedence over the words that come out of my mouth. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to be a goat. You get what I mean to say? I'm out here just like I go through the same motions, the same trials and tribulations like The difference between me and a lot of other players is that I have access to a lot of people, and I play from an analytical standpoint so I can share knowledge with or share what I'm learning with So I play the game from a different perspective. I play learning every day. So if I learn something new, I share it with y'all. Or if I find something like a theory about something, then we talk about it and create dialogue, find out if y'all doing the same thing. There are so many good and useful animations in the package, but it's the one you see and you're like, oh yeah, that's definitely getting blocked or changed. Yeah, facts, Kai. I appreciate all your feedback too. Peace and blessings, Rafa. Peace and blessings. I like Workhorse. I do like Workhorse. Workhorse is consistent. I run it on my 6A center build, so maybe my speed on that particular build versus the players around me who are going into the paint helps me see the benefits of the Workhorse badge. But I do like the Workhorse badge. Yeah, true. To a shooting lock. You trying to PMO to a shooting lock? Well, I got a shooting lock. I have a 6-6 build. This is just my 3-level score build. I made him to be like a heavily he's heavily in favor of offense. So I could play defense, 80 perimeter, but I made him to be that build that just helps out the point guard when we need it. That limitless range hash shooter, that backdoor cut, the 92 finishing, the 92 3-point shot, limitless range gold, the playmaking to make sure I'm pluckable on gold just in case I gotta, handle the rock for a player or two. That's what I made him for. Euro City, what's the word? What up, Lord Flacco Donnie? What's goody? What up, my G's? We are an hour and a half in, and I have to hit the supermarket and re-up. It's due time, man. Peace and blessings to y'all. Hopefully, we just all learn something new. Hopefully, we can grow from here. And again, if you guys want to try out for our community, stay connected with me, join our Discord. All you got to do is type !Discord to join. It's free access in there. At least right now, it's free access. We are working towards subscriptions in our Discord, which offer you guys even more incentives. But we're working really hard to deliver that to you guys and help create or help bring back community to the game. You guys need to stop running with randoms. Get out of your introvert ways, man. Go out there and meet some people. That's part of why we love basketballs, because when we was out there on the courts, IRL, we were always meeting new people, always had great times running with the homies. Reinvigorate that experience by joining our Discord and connecting with some new people. I appreciate y'all so much. Wishing y'all a safe and blessed rest of your Saturday and even better weekend. I'll catch you guys either on the next video or live stream.